Hey everyone, Jeffrey Anthony here. I'm going to be trying my very first YouTube demonstration video here. And what we're going to work on today is the inside kick. I'm going to start with their standard AKG D112. And you can see I'm completely prepared for this. Let me pull this out. So the AKG D112, industry standard inside kick mic, can also be used on a bass cab and such. I bought this one used, like most of the gear in my studio, on Reverb. This is not a plug for them. I don't even know them. Listen to this mic going through the AML EZ1073 500 series microphone preamp. This preamp is supposed to recreate the sound of a 1073 preamp made famous by Neve. And this one is probably the most affordable 500 series or any rack space series preamp that emulates the 1073 with the EQ. That's key. That sounds pretty darn good. I love this one. It's and what we're going to do right now is we're going to hear it without the EQ engaged, just straight through the inside kick. So let's move the kick mic in. Okay, so we're going to start here, looking at it from the outside. You got the AKG. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to place it inside, and we're going to start where I always start, is about halfway in. I'm going to start halfway in. Let's take a look real quick. How does the GoPro look inside? We're about halfway in. I got the muffle is just some bed sheets. I have it touching the front and barely touching the back, just slightly, so it's not dead, but it's not completely open and booming. What are some other things that I'm doing here? I have it plugged into my mic input box, and I have something special here. And what I have here is a Shure A15AS switchable attenuator. And what this allows me to do is reduce the amount of attenuation. And what I always do is do a minus 20 dB because what that allows me to do is it allows me to take that input and crank it a bit more so I can push the actual transformer inside this preamp. I want to get some saturation from the transformer. The transformers inside this preamp are Carnhill, the real deal. And so when you have a kick mic inside there and you're playing really loud, which is what you usually do when you're playing some rock music, is that the high SPLs usually force you to keep the preamp pretty low, which means you're not really hitting that transformer. You're not getting that natural kind of grit, saturation, little creaminess. It's just where that real tone comes from. So I use the AS15 attenuator by Shure. So here we go. We're going to start out now, just the kick mic, no EQ. Okay, we had that setting at 45 dB of gain there. I have a 20 dB reduction on the Shure attenuator. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip in the EQ. One of the quirks of this 500 series AML EZ1073 is you got to push. It looks like it's flipped to me there. Now the other thing I'm doing is I have this set to 1200 ohms. So then what is my EQ set to? My EQ is set to, right now I have the flat on the high shelf. On the mid EQ, I have it set to 0.36, so 360 hertz. And I have it 100% reduced. Well, it's not 100%, but I actually don't have it memorized what this curve is, but I have it all the way reduced. And then I have the low boosted at 60 hertz, and I have it one notch just one notch to the right, and I do not have a high pass filter engaged currently. So let's test this out. Okay, let's try this. I had not planned on doing this, but let's just switch the from 1200 to 300 ohms. And now I'm not changing anything else, just changing that. Let's see what how that changes the characteristic of the tone. Okay, I'm going to slightly adjust the EQ, put a little bit of a high-end shelf up, because I find that when I'm doing rock music, you want a little bit of that attack. In the next video I do, I'm going to walk through the steps of the full kick drum sound I make, which includes an outside mic and a kick sub mic. When I blend all three together, it gives a really nice, big, fat, round bass drum tone. But for this, I'm just going to focus on boosting the high shelf right here, and I'm going to boost it to right about there. That's just a little bit. You can see I can go all the way up to there. All I do is right there, and with that adjustment, let's take a listen. Oh, I almost forgot. I normally record with this in 1200, so let's go back to 1200 there, because that's the sound I normally choose. And let's take a listen. And because we're here experimenting and we have the time, let's try and just flip this back to 300 ohms. And let's take a listen one more time. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. That's my very first video. This was my inside kick mic going through the AML EZ1073 500 series microphone preamp EQ. You can find it on Vintage King at $8.98. I gotta say, an incredible deal for the quality of this preamp with EQ. You probably saw in my video, I have a couple BAE Neves. I have a 1073 and a pair of 1023s. This thing holds up right alongside them, and those cost multiple times this amount. So I will be following up with some better videos, better quality, better editing. The next video I plan on doing will be my whole kick drum sound, which will be this inside kick, outside kick, and the sub kick. And I hope to have that out soon. All right, thanks for watching.